Hi everyone, good afternoon. So welcome to this session. Indeed, as Mark said, this is actually a joint presentation between Reflect and Volvo. So myself, Erwan, and Rene, who's going to join after on stage, we're going to explain you how the Volvo Group Truck leverage existing 3D data to turn this and add value in their existing activities and processes using augmented reality. So this session has three parts. I'm going to start with a short introduction of Reflect, for those who do not know us yet, who we are, what we do, and how we do it. And Rene will then deep dive in the Volvo story, specifically about the training use cases. And following those two parts, we're going to have a conversation, asking questions, where also you will be invited to raise your point. So let's start. Reflect. Reflect, we are a German company based in Munich. So 2 offices in Germany to cover the European market, and also an office in the US to cover the North American market. We have 3 strategic investors coming from different industry, automotive, process and chemical, and IT security. Those 3 investors have invested in Reflect and deploy and roll out both our solutions, Reflect One and Reflect Remote. So Reflect is an augmented reality software product that simplifies maintenance, repair, operation, and training in the industry. Our vision is that anyone operating and maintaining an industrial machinery can become an expert instantly. Whether you're looking at reducing the time to repair, or automating an inspection use case, or increasing the quality of a training, we have solutions in augmented reality. So how we do it? What do we do? Well, Reflect developed an operating system for enterprise AR that helps your company to leverage this technology and easily deploy and maximize the success and the return. We make it easy for you. Let me try to think and how to explain it, or let's directly dive into a more visual way of saying it. Probably most of you know our well-known platform, Reflect One. Reflect One has been on the market for a couple of years now. It's a mature product. We have different customers using it for different use cases, but we realized 2 things. First things, and that was on the slide of Bosch, the presentation before, one size does not fit all. Okay? AR, the technology AR, cannot be used in the same way from an automotive OEM, an industrial giant, or a small and medium-sized medical device or industrial service company. The scaling factor is different, and therefore you need a flexible solution. Also, talking about different industry, which is our second key point, regulated industries such as process and chemical versus automotive versus energy and utilities, customization, integration. This is another key factor for industrial customers to integrate, digest, and scale augmented reality. There's not one solution that fit them all. It requires customization, integration in existing software, whether it is a PLM, an IoT, an XML, a CMS, an ERP, whatever. So this is what we have done. Reflect One is now the core, the foundation of an operating system where partners can build vertical solutions, customer-specific solutions. We are blessed. We are quite happy actually during this AWE this year. We have 2 best examples of what I just said. Bosch and Siemens. I invite you all to go on the Bosch booth. They show the CAP software, Common Augmented Reality Platform, that they distribute and roll out specifically on the automotive market. Well, the CAP software has Reflect One inside. It is based on the Reflect One core technology. Another example was Siemens. for those who attended the speaker slot with Wolfgang, our CEO, and Oliver Fullinger from Siemens, they presented how Siemens Teamcenter PLM is now integrating Reflect One to leverage existing data, 3D model, technical documentation, and directly publish it in augmented reality, which gives them the opportunity to automate the creation of the content and supports change management. All your variants, all the configuration, you change a size or color or whatever in your CAD data, and this is automatically updated in your augmented reality. Back and forth. Whatever is created using the augmented reality software, the augmented reality app, if you want to user feedback, entering some comments or value in your augmented reality app, this is automatically sent back to your backend system, PLM, ERP, whatsoever. So Siemens and Bosch are actually good example of how partners and customers can build their solutions, add an application layer on top of the Reflect One core. Of course, we keep our one essentials. We also have a direct go-to-market with standalone solution for easy access, fast implementation, fast training, and immediate ROI. Now comes the distribution. Okay, Reflect, we are 70 people. We don't claim we can reach the whole market, and therefore we create partnership. Vice versa, on the customer side, why would I ask Siemens Gamesa, just to take an example, to change their system integrator? The company that have been managing their IT infrastructure just to use augmented reality and Reflect One. So we are establishing partnership with system integrator, service partners, support companies, so that can serve your organization and help you deploy a big scale augmented reality. Those partners helped us to serve a very wide panel of customers. And thanks to this operating system, which is now split into vertical specific solutions for automotive, for process, for energy, for mechanical industry, for automotive, we can now reach those companies with the right solutions, the right feature, the right module of augmented reality. And this is a good timing to now hand over to Volvo, one of our customers that, Rene, here you are, who's going to explain you how they integrate and leverage our solution within their company.
Thank you very much. My name is Rene Barth. I'm working for Volvo for nearly 7 years now in the IT department. And I'm going to talk about digitalization within the Volvo Group and what it has to do with AR. So first off, here you see a few example pictures that very good fitting to our slogan, drive the progress. Because everything that has to do with the business is now affected from digitalization. And as you can imagine, Volvo faces the same problems like every other company. So our main challenges were old-fashioned processes, because a company with such a long history has, of course, tons of processes and never touch a running system. Nobody wants to change them if not really necessary. And of course, if you have a certain size of company, then yes, it's pretty complex. So this makes it harder to improve processes, of course. And the key to all of this are the users, of course, and the customers. And if you lose them during the process, then you're lost, nearly. So what can AR do for us? If you know the benefit of AR or VR, and if you know the potential, then you can easily improve your own processes. We, for example, took our technical trainings. Till now, it was the fact that we invited our mechanics to our training centers and bought the particular component that we wanted to train on. And that means we had a lot of expenses beforehand, and the transportation expenses, of course, too. So this was the fact where we said there's the potential to raise the benefit and to decrease our expenses. On top of this, we have ideas, meanwhile, to improve our workshop workflows for maintenance, inspections, and so on. So, augmented reality offers a new dimension of efficient learning. Like I said before, we had to buy the components to show them to our mechanics. Now, with AR and VR, we have the component right away. Like you can see here, the pump for the engine. It's displayed here, you see. You don't have to disassemble it from the engine and from the powertrain. You can just show it right away. And like you see here, you can also add additional informations and explanations with pictures and videos. We had, for example, a gas tank with a pump, and we added to the detailed view, what is shown on the left, a video of the working pump, so that the mechanic gets a better understanding of the components. Motivating learning experience. Of course, everybody knows a presentation with just plain text, this is boring. So if you provide more media, like videos, pictures, and so on, you can make it a good experience for the trainee attendee. Visual learning approach. Yeah, it's seen because you have more senses that you use to learn in this case. An innovative way of learning. Of course, if you just have sheets with information, this is also boring like a plain text presentation. And if you use modern techniques to give your trainings, that raises the experience, of course, too. Better training and skilled people. Since you have a good learning experience, your information is, let's say, fits better and improves our fault tracing skills, or the mechanics fault tracing skills. And of course, reduction of errors made during in a workshop. Promising a return of investment. We had a calculation that compared the expenses I mentioned before with the component, the transportation, and so on, and compared it to the license cost and what we have with the software from Reflect, and it showed quite clear that we are saving money in this case. Now I'm going to show you a video that we made in our training centers, in one of our training centers, that shows pretty good the experience of the users and how we use it in our training scenarios.
Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was a German scientist. He was developing the X-rays in 1895. Today, the usage of X-rays is quite common in medical services, customs duty, or airport security. Until today, we were using quite complex 3D graphics to do the technology competence transfer. But now, times have changed. Now we are generating augmented reality. The feedback of the technicians so far is great.
Especially for the technical department, the mechanics and the metal workers, simply great. You have an easy access and can show the customers what the actual problem is. Later on, you can show why it took a certain amount of time and therefore might cost a bit more.
Super Sache, finde ich, weil man kann den Azubis...
It's a real good thing, because you can show the apprentices in detail where a certain component is, and you can show additional technical data easily.
Den Vorteil sehe ich daran, dass man halt...
A great advantage is you can save time on the coaches and you can work in a more innovative way and expand the diagnosis and focus the concentration in training, which are important for the workshops. And in this way, we beat all the opportunities from the past and save a lot of time. The big advantage of this program is the fact that you can easily and quickly explain the trucks and motors from the inside to all new colleagues and apprentices and give them a chance to work virtually with these trucks. I think for a competent colleague this is a huge help in diagnosis and in addition to the usual education and training, a great tool.
While we are using augmented reality in practical workshop sessions, the participants and trainer come along with a lot more ideas of an efficient and sustainable usage.
It is great that this program enables us to explain technical shortages and the resulting repairs that have to be made in advance. So we can zoom in certain parts and explain why they need to be replaced. The big advantage of this program is the possibility to use the touch screen and getting information for certain components with a simple touch, rather than looking up for information in Impact. That's cool. I believe if we'll be able to add Impact and Tech Tool to this program, we will have a huge advantage in comparison to all of our competitors who don't own such a program. And then we will be the definite number one.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks a lot, Rene. I don't know for you, but when I look at such videos, I love it. One of the reasons why I love it, and thanks for sharing that with us, Rene, is we are not talking about augmented reality technology right there. We are not mentioning who and how. We are talking about users. We are talking about feedback, user feedback. And as you can see, they were great. They are simply positive. So I'm not going to ask you how successful it was. Apparently it is, and it will be. But what I'm interested in, Rene, is how did you get there? Like, how did you make this technology adopted by the user, starting from the trainee, the customers, but also maybe the technical trainer?
It was pretty easy. We just asked them. They were so curious, they just wanted to try. We had a first solution in our hands, and then, yeah, are you willing to try this? Yes, sure, give it to me. So we had no, let's say, burden in this case.
That is easy. I wish everyone will have such a smooth experience to AR. You didn't even face any challenges down the road?
The biggest challenge was the hardware, to be honest, because we used a standard iPad generation 6, and we recognized quite early that the device had limited resources, of course, and for bigger components, the loading time is pretty long, a few seconds just, but compared to small objects, of course, it's longer.
Yeah,
so this was the biggest challenge.
So the biggest challenge is hardware. As a software guy, I'm not just going to put it on the hardware. That would be too easy. But that's a great feedback. And it actually makes me think, I don't know if you guys went on the Bosch booth, but they're showing this new feature specifically for training. They use the HoloLens, but it can be used for iPad, maybe newer generation. The feature is about collaborative training, right? When we use iPad or HoloLens, you can see this interactive training, and they now add the collaborative part. That means, as a trainer, I can control the content that all the technicians see, all the mechanics see. So instead of having them flying around and playing with the content, you can keep them focused, synchronize them on one specific component. Using the HoloLens tool, you can actually take this component, explain it, take it in your hand, and pass it through all the people thanks to the synchronization of the content. This is pretty new. What do you think about this? Do you think this could add value, and how it will add value for your training centers?
Definitely, because till now we have the effect that some mechanics that maybe had some trainings beforehand and know some components, they just skip in. So they go forward when other mechanics still are at the first slide, so to say. And with this, you can, like you said, keep them focused. Maybe that to remember or to refresh their information, maybe.
I like it. I like it. AR is used to have the same level of knowledge across the team. That's a good one.
Yeah.
May I ask, among all the different AR providers, why Reflect?
When we started in 2017, we of course discovered a lot of developers and suppliers, and most of them were like, if you want to have a new session, a new training, then you had to go back to them. And with Reflect One Author, we had the possibility to create our own content, and that makes us, for us, so charming to say.
I guess if you can internalize this and not outsource the content creation, that's a USP.
Yeah.
Cool. So I will also, I have many questions, but I will also give you the opportunity to raise your own points if you have any. Maybe last question for you, Rene. Any perspective for AR in the future within the Volvo Group?
Yes, definitely. Like I said before, we have plannings to implement AR in our workshop workflows for inspections, leaded inspections. You had a new software, the augmented photo, I think.
Augmented photo, yeah, a new feature.
Yeah. And this was pretty awesome, for such cases, because you can take photos of the vehicle you're inspecting and can take notes or show parts that are important for the inspection or the maintenance. And I think, yeah, we're probably going to implement this, hopefully.
That's awesome. I'm glad this new feature will help. We basically have a patent about it, but it's good we have the opportunity to talk about it on stage. Thanks a lot, Rene. Do we still have time for other questions? Awesome.